Have you ever stopped to wonder why the continent we now call Africa has that name? What if we told you it wasn't always called Africa? For thousands of years, this vast land was known by a completely different name, one that carried deep cultural, spiritual, and historical meaning: Alkebulan. In this video, we uncover the lost name of Africa, explore its many ancient titles, and question why these names were changed. This is a story of forgotten civilizations, erased identities, and a powerful legacy waiting to be reclaimed. Africa today, a continent of immense diversity. Modern-day Africa is a land of unmatched variety. With 54 countries, over 2,000 spoken languages, and a population of approximately 1.46 billion, it is the second largest and second most populous continent on Earth. Its landscapes are just as diverse, ranging from vast deserts and dense jungles to high mountain ranges and rich river valleys. But this continent's beauty lies not only in its land, but in its deeply rooted cultural heritage. A heritage whose foundations stretch back tens of thousands of years. Where did the name Africa come from? The name Africa did not originate on the continent itself. In fact, its earliest use comes from European sources, particularly during the Roman conquest of Carthage, which occurred between 264 and 146 BCE. One theory suggests that the name Africa was derived from the Latin word Afri, used to describe the Berber peoples who lived in the region that is now modern-day Tunisia and Libya. With the addition of the suffix "cia", meaning land or place, it became Africa, land of the Afri. But this is only one possibility. The name's true roots remain debatable as other interpretations exist. In Greek, the word Phrike means cold or horror. In Latin, Africa is interpreted as sunny. Some even suggest the word Africa comes from the Phoenician word afar, meaning dust or earth. This wide variety of meanings and origins has raised questions among historians. Was the name Africa chosen because of its geography, its people, or was it imposed for reasons far more political and colonial? The forgotten name, Alkebulan. Before Africa, the land was widely known by the name Alkebulan, a name with profound meaning. According to many scholars, Alkebulan means Mother of Mankind, Mother of Nations, or even Garden of Eden. It is believed to be the oldest recorded name for the continent, predating all modern and colonial labels. Alkebulan was not just a geographic identifier. It symbolized the spiritual and cultural cradle of humanity. It was a sacred name, used by several ancient civilizations including the Moors, the Numidians, the Carthaginians, the Nubians, the Ethiopians, the Berbers, the Libyans. In fact, some scholars believe that Alkebulan was the original name given by the continent's first inhabitants, passed down through oral traditions, ancient scrolls, and spiritual records. Alkebulan in ancient manuscripts and belief systems. In ancient African spiritual texts, such as the Egyptian Book of the Dead, Alkebulan was referenced as a sacred land, potentially even the original Garden of Eden. Many believe the name reflects Africa's status as the cradle of civilization. Archaeological discoveries in the Great Rift Valley, parts of Ethiopia, and South Africa support the idea that modern humans originated in Africa, a fact that aligns with Alkebulan's meaning, Mother of Mankind. Historians like Cheikh Anta Diop have also emphasized this connection. Diop stated that Alkebulan may be the most authentic and indigenous name for Africa, one that ties the land back to its earliest peoples and original cultures, especially the Kemetic civilizations of ancient Egypt. Other ancient names for Africa. Alkebulan wasn't the only name used across the continent. Different cultures, tribes, and empires had their own designations for this sacred land. Kemet, meaning black land, used by ancient Egyptians to describe their fertile homeland. Ethiopia, from Greek Ethiops, meaning burnt face, often used to describe land south of Egypt. Libya, used by Greeks to refer to North Africa west of Egypt. Nubia, a powerful civilization in the Upper Nile Valley. Ortygia, coffee, cash, and kingdom in the sky, names found in local oral traditions and early historical references. Each name carried its own meaning, spiritual symbolism, and identity, often lost or suppressed during colonization. The impact of European colonization. During the scramble for Africa in the late 15th to early 20th centuries, European powers invaded, partitioned, and colonized nearly every part of the continent. With this came the systematic erasure of indigenous names, kingdoms, and identities. Instead of Alkebulan, colonial documents used Africa and replaced native kingdoms with artificial boundaries and foreign languages. This was not just administrative, it was a deliberate effort to disconnect African people from their roots, rewrite their history, and undermine their cultural self-worth. Was Alkebulan used across 2,000 tribes? Some skeptics argue that it's unlikely thousands of tribes used one universal name. After all, Africa's linguistic diversity is unparalleled. However, scholars argue that Alkebulan may have functioned as a spiritual term, rather than a literal, geographic one. Just as the word Asia or Europe was not commonly used by every tribe or community, Alkebulan may have served as a unifying symbol, passed down through shared oral histories, trade networks, and intertribal communication. African societies had complex systems of storytelling, which helped preserve terms like Alkebulan across generations, even if they were slightly pronounced or interpreted differently from region to region. Modern echoes. The United Alkebulan Republic. In 1999, during Nigeria's constitutional review process, some citizens proposed renaming the country to the United Alkebulan Republic. This bold idea was part of a larger vision, to reconnect with indigenous identity and move away from colonial influences. They also proposed changes to allow diaspora voting, new regional structures, and national referendum system. The name United Alkebulan Republic would serve as a symbol of rebirth, unity, and indigenous pride, placing the country back in touch with its ancestral name and deeper African legacy. Controversy around the word Alkebulan. Not all scholars agree on the authenticity of the name. Critics argue that the prefix al- is Arabic, suggesting it may have originated post-Islamic conquest. The root word Kebulan doesn't exist in Arabic, Berber, or any known Semitic languages. Arabic texts refer to Africa as Bilad al-Sudan, meaning land of the blacks, not Alkebulan. These debates reveal how complex and layered Africa's history is, how language, conquest, and spirituality intertwine across centuries. Final thoughts. Reclaiming identity. Africa has gone by many names, some native, some foreign, some erased, and others resurrected. But Alkebulan remains one of the most powerful and symbolic. Whether or not it was truly used continent-wide, it represents a spiritual and cultural awakening, a reminder of who we were before the world renamed us. As interest in Afrocentric history and decolonized education grows, so too does the conversation around reclaiming names like Alkebulan. Names that remind us that Africa is not just a place, it's a people, a history, and a soul. What do you think? Should the continent reclaim the name Alkebulan? Or is Africa just another chapter in a long, evolving story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories from Africa's untold past. Thank you for watching.